If you're sick of blending in with the dreaded sea of sameness online, this video is for you. So I came across I came across an account the other day on Threads. This guy is 39 years old, he has ADHD, and he doesn't have kids. He shares those three things often in his content. And he posts, I don't know, 5 times a week. I post 8 to 10 times a day on Threads. This guy posts 5 times a week, 5 to 7 times. He doesn't post every day, but it's kind of close. He's got 14,000 followers, and he has a lot of posts that have hundreds, if not thousands and thousands of likes and comments. And he talks to his people. I would assume most of his audience are millennials that have ADHD and they don't have kids. Now, I am 43, I have 2 kids. My sister is 40 and she doesn't have kids. And she has told me before, she can feel this silent shame. She can feel people treat her differently because she doesn't have kids. So I imagine that's quite common, this silent shame that a lot of millennials have that don't have kids. And here this guy is, he's leaning into this, what some might call a weakness, a not belonging, odd, strange, doesn't fit in, disadvantage, call it whatever you want. He's leaning into that and he's creating messaging around these 3 traits that he has: millennial, ADHD, no kids. And he's built this community up of a lot of people that I assume probably have all 3 of those or can relate to him. And those people feel seen, they feel heard, they probably feel at home. You know, because he's being the leader, saying, hey, this is who I am. I'm a millennial with no kids and I have ADHD. And so other people are like, hey, that's me. I was ashamed of my ADD, or I was embarrassed, or carried this guilt or shame because I didn't have kids as a millennial, or whatever, you know. So he's being this leader, and basically, essentially, he's giving them permission. In a sense, he's giving them permission to be themselves, that, hey, it's okay. You're not alone. There's a whole lot of us out there who are millennials, no kids, and have ADHD. So he's found 3 traits, and he's at the crossroads of all 3 of these traits or characteristics or whatever you want to call them. And so everybody watching this, you probably have a couple of traits or characteristics or weird quirks that you have, and come up with a couple of them and start creating your messaging around those things. And you're going to notice, with 8 billion people in the world, you're going to find thousands and thousands of people who have those same traits. And some of them might be embarrassed by those traits. And a lot of them, they look at it as a disadvantage. A lot of people look at ADHD as a disadvantage. This guy's wearing it as a badge of honor. This ain't a disadvantage. He's building a community around it. You know, so if you want to stand out from the sea of sameness online and be looked at as a leader and an authority, in a respected leader and authority, sit down and write out a couple of, so for example, I'm a 40-year-old dad, I'm sober, I used to struggle with alcohol, you know, and so I could create, I don't do this, but I do talk about being sober, I do talk about being a dad, I do talk about being a dad in my 40s, of course, you know, but those could be 3 of my points. You know, I could probably create a community of people, of 40-year-old dads who are sober, you know, and then that I'm going to attract those type of people and be like, hey, you know, hey, fellow men, there's nothing to be ashamed of, because a lot of people carry shame and guilt around with sobriety and all that stuff, you know. There's nothing to be ashamed about. You know, I talk about how I go to therapy, you know, and I'm not embarrassed by that. I could give 2 shits what people think about that, you know, but I could talk about that, hey, with mental health stuff. Hey, I'm a 40-year-old dad and I openly go to therapy, you know, and there'd be other people oh my gosh, I go to therapy. I didn't know Adam went to therapy. I feel seen, I feel heard, I feel understood. So if you want to create messaging that cuts through the fucking noise, sit down and think of a couple of traits, characteristics, weird quirks that you have that maybe you're a little embarrassed. Maybe you think that they're holding you back. You know, like I said, the ADHD one, it is unbelievable how many people blame ADHD for their struggles. It's oh, come on, dude. Leverage that, use that to your advantage, show up with that. and share that. Share the benefits of the ADHD, or use it to your advantage, use it to your power, because you can. But so many people point the finger at, oh, I have ADHD, I can't do it, That is one conversation I have with so many people. They're like, oh, I'm struggling because I have ADHD. It's like, well, we won't get into that. That's not why they're struggling, but it's something to point their finger at. So leverage these characteristics or traits or quirks and sit down and come up with a couple of them. Maybe it's gender. I mean, it can be gender, but something more than that. Like I said, this guy, it's a perfect example, and no wonder he's been successful over on Threads. I think he started his account in January, and he's got 14,000 people. And like I said, he doesn't post all that often. It's not like he's married to that platform where he's posting 100 times a day, kind of like how I do it. Now I use software and all that. But think about that. Come up with a couple of things, lean into that, become the leader for those people, and then they're going to come to you because you went first. That's what it means to lead. You went first. You showed them that it's okay. You gave them permission that it's okay to be XYZ or have ABC or some other thing. So think about that. I created a theme page on Threads. I talked about this, I think, the other day on Threads, and it's a dad page, and my best performing content is when I reference 40-year-old dads. It's just really having me thinking like that. I would guesstimate 90% of my audience are 40-year-old dads, because that's the content that's really, really resonating. It's very, very specific, and I've noticed a couple of other theme pages on Threads where they get very specific who they're talking to. And it's this identity thing. It's taking like 2 or 3 traits, characteristics, and finding like the intersection of that and just talking to those people and letting them feel like they're seen, they're heard, they're understood, they're home, they're normal, they're not weird, they don't feel out of place, all of those things. So that's my message for today. It's a quick one. If you got comments, questions, concerns on how to earn a living selling PDFs, drop them right down below. I'll do my absolute best to answer them. Also, I do these videos every single day, Monday through Friday. So you can tell I'm getting a little winded. I took the vest off. I have a bad rash right here. TMI, I know. That's why I'm not wearing a vest today, and I feel naked without it. But I'm down 19 pounds since January 1st. And I won't get into that. Anyways, hit the subscribe button down below. Also, I put up a video just a couple weeks ago how I'm earning $540 selling silly little PDFs on the internet. I outline the whole process there. Take it and run with it. There's people in the comment section that I inspired them to go out and create their own PDF. You don't have to buy anything from me. Just take it and run. Anyways, I'll let you go. Have a good one.